My name is Erika Azevedo. I'm the Latin American Innovation Coordinator for Water Offsets. Water Offsets is a UK company focused on water resiliency. And there is this big work already being done in the UK, and the international aspect has been started recently. So we've been doing already projects in Africa, Asia, and now entering the Latin America market, initially with Brazil and Mexico. So I think for us, especially here for Latin America, it was very important. It was crucial. It was our first step. Last year, when we were invited to take part of a program, a UK Latin America innovation program led by Connected Places Catapult, with support of the Science and Innovation Network here in Latin America, was via the tactical fund that we made it happen. So this was a 6-month program where some challenges were identified, and water resiliency was one of them. So Water Offsets applied for that, we were selected, and the journey started. And the end of this program took place in March in Brazil, where the UK companies had an opportunity to meet with the selected companies that we also recruited in Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil. It was a very interesting opportunity, because during that week we were able to meet with the other partners as well, with the other potential customers. The event, the program ended up with the South Summit Brazil. So during those 3 days there was a lot of connections, and everything had the support throughout all those 6 months from the Science and Innovation team. During the South Summit, we had the presence from the Science and Innovation Director in Brazil, also with the Consul in Brazil. They were there with the group in Porto Alegre. We also had some opportunities in other parts of Brazil, visiting universities, companies, R&D centers, to really have an understanding of the innovation environment in Brazil. But when we went to Porto Alegre for the South Summit, that's actually where the magic started, because we really had the opportunity to meet important stakeholders and partners, projects related already funded by the World Bank, engaging very closely with the cities there. And I think this was our important moment, and it was only possible to happen because we had the support from the Tactical Fund. And during this week, we also had the opportunity to, of course, meeting with all the delegates, and one of these companies that actually is a Mexican company called Alice. This company started a joint venture with Water Offsets as an outcome as well. So combining solutions. So not only the funding gave us the opportunity to meet new potential opportunities internationally, new stakeholders, but also engaging with the group itself and identifying the commercial opportunities. So for us, definitely was really, really important. Yeah, as I said, was a starting point for us, especially here in Latin America. Of course, there are other challenges now. As you progress in the market, you identify partners, potential customers, you want to go the next step, and you go for the next step. Also, funding is always an issue to make things happen more quickly. So I guess for us, it was already great. The doors were really open. We also have still the support, I must say that, from Science and Innovation team, also from the Department for Business and Trade, because it's very important to have this institutional support from the UK government once you're really entering new markets. It's a different way of addressing the opportunities when we have this type of support. But I think for us, now we are in the moment of starting really running the projects, and there is this moment where the customer wants to really test the solution, but we still need some additional push a little bit in the investment. So maybe for us, would be interesting to understand when this fundings like this that are there to support innovation, to support also the commercial aspects, it is this journey. We have the first opportunity, and then what? What's the next step? Can we go further? Can we, depending on the progress of those collaborations, are we eligible to access other type of funding, maybe other levels? I don't know. But this is something that we've been finding as possibly a way of going forward, because of course funding is always an issue for any type of business in any level of development. So I think for us would be that. I think in our case, tactical fund is a very important one, but we've been also discussing some opportunities with Innovate UK. And I think when you talk about funding, the UK government has a very well-structured way of offering this, depending of the level of the commitment of the companies, the appetite they have in international markets, and what is missing there for the companies to go to the next level. So I think for us it's very important. It's one thing that we've been talking, especially in Brazil and in Mexico, with our new partners and also institutions like universities and research centers, also to understand how the local governments, the local markets can also work with us on this specifically point about investment. So what it means, when we have programs that companies can apply for and there is already a match fund agreement there, speed things up. For sure, we can really see, okay, there is this opportunity there and we can apply. If we are successful, yes, we're gonna deliver such and such. So I think it makes a lot of a difference if we use this type of high-level engagement, the British government in the local markets like Brazil and Mexico, and also the local markets funding agencies and the same equivalent to Innovate UK, for example. If they sit down and have this discussion in advance, it will really open up opportunities for UK companies in any level of development. I think startups to big companies, everybody has some needs for investment, for innovation. So I think this would be, in the long term, would be very beneficial for both markets, because in the case of Brazil, for example, we are partnering with local companies. So it's not only the UK supporting the UK companies coming to our market. Of course, we're gonna get customers and outcomes here, but also the Brazilian companies now can make a way to the UK and identify opportunities there for setting up their own business, because the opportunities, when we come in the case of water offsets, we want to develop the programs here in Latin America, but we also inviting our partners to access the opportunities in the UK. So it's a two-way thing. And for that, I think it makes a lot of sense to get these funding agencies from both sides sitting and understanding what are the necessities, especially when you're talking about sustainability. I think it's very important to be close to the institutions. For example, the British consulate here in Mexico and in Brazil, as well as in other parts of Latin America, there is a very heavy agenda, very focused, and it's important to understand what's going on. So I think events like opportunities, this week we are in Mexico because we're going to attend an event that is taking place in here about water management. It's important to understand what are the events that are taking place and what are the events that are being supported by the UK government. I think even open calls that are available, sometimes the companies they are not reached out, they don't know how to get to those opportunities. So it's important to engage, it's important to understand what's going on, so they are part of this, because this is an opportunity. Like water offsets is an example of this. Because we were part of a networking, we learned about what's going on last year. We are now here setting up offices in Latin America as an outcome. So it's a very successful journey so far, and we are really looking forward for the next step. So from now on, from next year, our expectation is that we're going to start really putting all those plans and all those strategies that we are putting together with our partners into live action. So we are going to really start making progress on that sense. So I guess that's being connected.